And there it is. Nope, not an April Fool's joke. The little X beside the Northeast Generals logo, indicating that, yes, they have clinched a playoff spot. They will be one of the 6 teams in the East Division playoffs and one of the 4 that will be in the best of 3 play-in series starting in about a week and a half. Obviously, we don't know the opponent yet, but for the first time since 2024, the Northeast Generals are officially a playoff team. As we'll bring it into your headquarters now, and welcome to the Debrief, our 10th episode of the official podcast for the Northeast Generals, and a really exciting show because the Generals are a playoff team, picking up both wins against the Elmira Aviators this past weekend and doing it their own way. My name is Rory McGoran. Thanks so much for joining me again this week. It wasn't that the Northeast Generals had to rely on the Johnstown Tomahawks losing a bunch of their games in order to clinch the playoffs. They went out, defeated Danbury in a recent game a couple weeks ago, and then back-to-back wins over the Elmira Aviators, built a 3-game winning streak, and did it themselves with those wins over the Aviators to clinch a playoff season. So we'll bring the standings back up and kind of break down what could happen for the Generals. 2 games left in the regular season. They'll be against the Maine Nordiques at home coming up on Friday and Saturday, but there's just still so much uncertainties. They don't know if the playoffs are going to be at home in the Canton Ice House or if they'll be a road team. They don't know their opponent yet, as the playoffs are not set. Still one position available, but the Generals cannot finish any lower than 5th, and they can get as high as 3rd place, technically leapfrogging the New Jersey Titans and the Maine Nordiques in the opening round. But let's take a look at the scores from this past weekend. All right, so here are the scores from Friday night in the East Division. A big win for the Johnstown Tomahawks. We'll show you the standings and kind of what they need to do to get into the last play-in spot here above Danbury, but a 7-4 victory will help their cause on Friday night over New Hampshire. The Northeast Generals, this was their Friday victory, the come-from-behind win, trailing going into the 3rd period, but the Generals get it done, 5-3 victory on Friday over Elmira. Maryland Black Bears and Rochester Junior Americans, those are the 2 teams that are going to get the bye into the East Division semifinals and joining the 2 teams that come out of the play-in round. But it was Maryland, 3-0 shutout over Rochester on Friday, and then the Maine Nordiques didn't help out the Generals in any way as they picked up victories on Friday and on Saturday, starting with this 6-1 victory on Philadelphia Friday night in Philly. We'll fade it on to the Saturday scores now. Bounce back win for New Hampshire. Didn't really help them at all because they are mathematically eliminated now. However, it did set Johnstown back in the big response game from the Mountain Kings. 8-4 victory. The Maine Nordiques, as we mentioned, they won both games. This one a little closer, 3-2 over the Philadelphia Rebels. So the Maine Nordiques stay 4 points up now on the Northeast Generals with 2 games remaining between the 2 teams. Maryland Black Bears, victorious both nights, 4-1 over Rochester. Lone Star and Odessa, the South Division, just omit it. It was just stuck in the graphic there. And the Northeast Generals, 6-0 victory. A lot of reason for celebration in that game, not only because it was a game that clinched them their playoff spot, but some individual accolades as well. So here are the standings now once again, with 2 games remaining for all teams. All 10 teams will play and wrap up their regular season this weekend. Let's start from the bottom, though. The Philadelphia Rebels, the Elmira Aviators, and now the New Hampshire Mountain Kings are officially eliminated from the postseason. New Hampshire can only get to 58 points, whereas the last playoff spot right now is at 59. So they'll have 2 more games, and that'll be it for those 3. Johnstown Tomahawks, 2 points back on Danbury with, and look over at the RW column, that's regulation wins. So that is going to be your tiebreaker if teams end up with the same amount of points through 59 games. And currently Danbury has the tiebreaker over the Johnstown Tomahawks with 25 regulation wins to Johnstown's 15. They've actually won a ton of games in overtime and a shootout, which does not help them for the tiebreaker. So Danbury, if they win 1 game, if they get 2 points, they'll be at 61. Johnstown cannot catch them. Johnstown needs Danbury to lose both or lose one in overtime, and then that's it. Johnstown will then have to win both games and clear them in the total points. They got to get to 61 and hope Danbury doesn't get to 61 as well. The Northeast Generals, here's where it can happen for them. They cannot fall lower than where they are in 5th place. The Danbury Hat-Tricks are not going to be able to catch them with their 2 games remaining. But the Northeast Generals can hop as high as 3rd place, considering that their 2 games remaining are against the Maine Nordiques coming up this weekend. If the Generals win both, and they have to win them both in regulation, then they will leapfrog the Maine Nordiques. They got to hope that the New Jersey Titans only get 2 points, because the Generals, if they win both games, they'll be at 68. New Jersey, actually, they could get 3 points, but the tiebreaker is really too close to call right now, as it's only separated by 1. Currently, the Generals do have it, technically, on the New Jersey Titans, just with that extra regulation win. So that is how the standings look with 2 games remaining. The Maryland Black Bears, Rochester Junior Americans, they're getting the bye. Northeast Generals might host the playoffs, where we're not sure yet, the play-in round. They got to get into 3rd or 4th, but they could play either Maine, New Jersey, Danbury, or Johnstown. All 4 of those teams are still potential opponents in the first round of the playoffs. All right, I'll bring it back here into the headquarters and talk about the games, because the Northeast Generals, with 4 points, with both wins over the Elmira Aviators this weekend, they clinched their spot into the postseason and did it in 2 very different ways. Friday night, it was the 5-3 come-from-behind victory, and this one relied on the Generals' power play, as their man advantage went 3 for 4 on the night, trailing going into the 3rd period, where the Generals' record has not been great. Not often has it happened. I think this was only the 14th time that they trailed going into the 3rd period through 56 games of the regular season. And this was only their 3rd win when they have a deficit going into the final frame. So the Generals bounced back, propelled by the really, really effective power play. Keegan Wilson picks up the victory in net on Friday night. And a team that looked better as the game went on, especially in the 3rd period, but a big way to kind of, go into the playoffs now, but having that belief, not that they didn't have it before, but, finding different ways to win hockey games is a good thing for the Northeast Generals, and trailing going into the 3rd just wasn't something that they did very often throughout the regular season. Saturday night's game, really dominating, especially in the second half. It was 1-0 for a lot of the game. Then late in the second period, the Generals broke it open. 3 goals in, I think, 2.5 minutes time late in the second. They added a couple more in the 3rd period. This time, it was their penalty kill and their shorthanded magic that we've been witnessing all season long. 16 shorthanded goals, the most in the East Division. They had 2 of them on Saturday night. Andrew Gibbons and Logan Poulin were the shorthanded goal scorers. They also killed off all 11 penalties against them. Elmira Aviators power plays, that is, on Saturday. So the 11 for the Generals was the most time shorthanded in a game, and the 11 kills was the most kills for the Generals this season in a game. A bunch of other accolades for the players on Saturday night. Logan Poulin, congratulations to him. He was just named East Division Player of the Week after scoring 4 goals and an assist, including a hat-trick on Saturday night. So it was the first career hat-trick for Logan Poulin, who's going to lead the Generals in goal scoring and going to lead the Generals potentially. Braden Hudloff could still catch, but in rookie scoring on the team as well, his 26th goal of the year. That will lead the team. I don't think anyone's going to catch him in the final 2 games, but he gets his first career hat-trick, the second hat-trick of the season for the Northeast Generals. It was Mikey Bartkowski had one against Elmira, actually, too, in a 9-0 victory a lot earlier in the season. Will Mazenko, his 3rd shutout of the season. Generals outshoot Elmira on both nights, quite handedly on Friday, too, in that 5-3 win. Trey Jansen, his first career goal and first career point, and it was awesome to see. We actually talked to Andrew Gibbons, who will join us after the highlights, about the reaction on the bench to Trey Jansen scoring his first career goal. Heartwarming, to say the least. And you can just see like the kind of player and the kind of person that Trey Jansen is and how much his teammates respect him and love him and were cheering for him when he scored his first career goal. And then Anthony Pomerico as well in his 3rd career game picks up his first career point. He had an assist on a Rich Rusarito goal in the 2nd period. So a lot of things to be excited about in that game, especially the Saturday night one. not just the fact that the Generals afterwards knew that they were going to the playoffs. So 3 wins now in a row after they snapped a 4-game losing streak. Looked like they were kind of going down this way heading into the playoffs and maybe needing some help, and in turn turned it around, and now in a 3-game winning streak, looking like a team that their game, and Andrew Gibbons talks about this as well, they feel is very suited for playoff hockey. So to kind of play that way in these tight, super meaningful games and then getting results like they are now, there'll be 2 more tough tests against Maine, and positioning an opponent, who they're going to play. It all is going to come down to the final game on Saturday. But first, let's take a look at the highlights from Friday and Saturday night. Can definitely throw, not just the leader of the team in goals, but physical presence as well. Max Campbell dropping. Here's a chance for Elmira. Cross-ice shot, scores! Rusarito's in front of the net. Logan Poulin. Now Moyer on the right side. Down low, Rusarito looks across. Ipri shoots, scores! Vinny Ipri! And if it is Moyers, that's his 50th point of the season. Shot towards the net and ends up between Keegan. To the corner, Hirsch going to support him. So is Hudloff. It's up top for McKenna. Back down the boards. Hudloff cross. O'Rear may have had an opening. Shot by McKenna, scores! Cole McKenna. We talked about it. 13 shorthanded goals for the Gens. 14 shorthanded goals given up for the Aviators. But here's a chance. It's Horn. He shoots. He's stopped by Wilson. Rebound. Scores. Dantis in. Pickpocketed by Fabiano. McKenna. Or Hinchliff, sorry, almost lost it. Now he lifts it in to Gibbons. He shoots and scores! And this puck down. Barata on it. Foul by Moyer. Back out towards center ice. Logan Poulin enters. Poulin drags. Shoots. He scores! Cross shot. Wilson again. 10 seconds left. Key saves. Keegan Wilson. Generals. Empty net. Just missed. But Barkowski's going to win the race, and he scores! Hustle. Reese. Spencer Hirsch forces a turnover out in front. Chip Poulin scores! Back-to-back game. Poulin, another turnover, Gibbons, and he'll bank it off the boards to Poulin. Could be a 2-on-1. Logan Poulin wide. Gibbons to the net. Poulin breaks up. Trailers Rusarito. Poulin shot, scores! Second goal. So Andrew Gibbons will pick up the assist. Here's another turnover. Rusarito. He'll cut to the net. Shot, scores! What a shot from Rich Rusarito. Play for Elmira so far. Up top, 30 seconds gone on it. Turnover, chance, Hinchliff. He's going to stretch out Andrew Gibbons. It's a shorthanded breakaway. Gibbons shoots and scores! On the power play right there for the Aviators. Generals now down the ice. Logan Poulin. He shakes off Bedorf. Poulin in. Backhand scores! We're back to 5-on-5 now, but the goal by Poulin just confirming that it was a shorty. We haven't had the announcement yet. Trey Jansen looking for some. Jansen, Drake shoots, he scores! Trey.
All right, Rory McGowan back here, and now very pleased to welcome in one of the Northeast Generals' 11 graduating players, Andrew Gibbons. Andrew, couple big wins over the weekend over Elmira, but first off, thanks for joining us here on the Debrief.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Let's start there, though. So the Northeast Generals, they're looking at the standings. They know their magic number was 3 points prior to the weekend. And you go out and you do it all on your own, picking up 4 points over the Elmira Aviators, a 5-3 win on Friday, a 6-0 win on Saturday. And I just kind of want to get your thoughts and your perspective from on the ice on how you thought those 2 games went for the team.
Yeah, no, I think obviously, like you said, 3 was the magic number. We were looking to really just try to take care of business on Friday. And, you know, we had a really strong third period. So that kind of momentum just continued to build into Saturday, and we were able to, you know, collect 4 points.
Did it, and I asked Brian the same question prior to Saturday's game, did it mean more to the guys in the locker room that you guys didn't rely on other teams losing to clinch a playoff spot, that you guys went out and you did it your own way? Does that mean a little bit more than, you know, oh, Danbury lost their game, so we clinch?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think something we've kind of been focused on throughout the entire year, and something that we've been harping on is just kind of, controlling our own narrative. We're obviously, if we get into playoffs, which we were lucky enough to do, always that's a good thing. But, I think from the time I got here right before Halloween, it's always kind of just been about playing our game and dictating our game and kind of, relying on ourselves and betting on ourselves going forward.
All right, so take me into the locker room after Saturday's win. You officially clinched, and just kind of, the celebration, and how is the excitement knowing that the Generals, for the first time in 2 years, are going back to the postseason?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great feeling. Last year I wasn't a General. I played on a different team in the East, and we also fell just short of playoffs. So I think just kind of being able to say, yeah, I'm playing playoff hockey now, because I mean, you see us almost every day, and our mindset, whether it's a Monday or whether it's a Saturday night, we've always kind of had a playoff mindset within the last 8 to 10 weeks. But I think Saturday was a super high emotion, high energy game, and I think walking out of that with not only a win but a shutout for Will in between the pipes too was just it was great. It was great for our locker room.
Well, and I mean, Trey Jansen getting his first career goal, right? Pomerico, his first career assist. The reaction for when Trey scored it on the bench was, it was just heartwarming to see how pumped up were you guys. Just talk a little bit about that, because, it seemed to mean almost more to you guys than it did for Trey.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a testament to who Trey is as a kid. Like, he's had a year full of ups and downs, whether we've been injured, so he's getting more ice time, or whether we're completely healthy. And, when I first got here, we didn't have an equipment manager, and Trey was the first person to step up and be like, hey, I want to be that guy. He's such a team first kid, and all he wants to do is succeed, like, not just for himself either, for everyone. Like I said, he's had a long year, and it could have been so easy for him to just shut it off. For him, as a 2007, he still got 2 more years for him to, go back and play U18, or kind of sit there and maybe not be the happiest guy in the locker room. But, every single day when you're walking in and seeing Trey, he's going to be cracking jokes. He's going to be, keeping the boys loose, and he's just such an easy kid to root for.
So yeah, you talk about an 07, for yourself, and along with 11 other players, their 2005 birth years, which means this is your final year of junior hockey. Is Saturday's game, I know it's not the last game, you're going to the postseason, but on the graduating send-off, do you think about that, and just kind of how your career has gone through multiple teams in the league, and you're still here, you still have post-secondary that I'm sure you're going to be going to next year, but does that last game, does it have a little bit of extra meaning to you?
Definitely. I mean, not only do I think it's going to be, this weekend in total is going to be great for us to just try to continue to build positive momentum heading into playoffs, but I think we've got such a tight group here. Like, not only talking about myself, I know it's going to be a pretty emotional night for the guys who have been here for a long time. Mikey's been here for 3 years. We've got a bunch of guys in leadership roles that have been here for multiple years. And I think, that's just something about our culture that, everyone's looking forward to Saturday. It's definitely going to be a little bittersweet playing our last regular season game as a General, but I think we're all looking forward to it and just trying to, get 4 more points this weekend.
And you have apparently a big group coming out in support. Who's coming?
Yeah. So off the top of my head, I know both my parents will be there. I know 2 out of the 3 of my siblings will be there. It's been great just being able to play for the Generals and kind of have family around to support me and be at games. And actually this past weekend, I had all 3 of my siblings, my parents, they were all at the games. So it was really cool to just play in front of them.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see all the graduating players, have someone there that'll be able to take in the final game. In terms of on ice, it'll be the Maine Nordiques. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but I want to find out where you think the Generals game is. It was a 4-game losing streak, but then 3 wins in a row now. To where you want it to be in playoffs, where do you think it is after Elmira?
Yeah, no, I think like I said, we've had the postseason circled on our calendar for a bit of time. Whether we're talking about it or whether it's just kind of in the back of everyone's head, I think personally, we're a team that's kind of built for playoffs. I think we're getting hot right at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we've got 11 graduating players. We've got a lot of maturity on our team, and we've got a lot of depth. I think these 2 wins, so the comeback win in the third on Friday, and then kind of the statement that we made on Saturday, we're kind of just looking to we believe it in the room that we're a very strong team, and we're kind of just looking to reinforce that going this weekend and heading into playoffs.
And of course, after this season, you'll be looking at the post-secondary. Just want to kind of know, how that journey has been for yourself, and kind of where you are in deciding what next year looks like.
Yeah, obviously, I think the path for me has been a bit different than most. So obviously, I was set up to go to the Air Force Academy, and things kind of fell through. So when recruitment opened back up in December, I kind of looked at it as just a new door opening, and I think I've been able to go see some places and talk to some coaches, in which I wouldn't have previously been able to do. I think for myself, I'm really focused on finding a spot that feels like a home away from home, finding a spot where I can see myself not only trying to succeed and contribute on the ice, but also just continuing to develop as a person. I think I've kind of narrowed it down a little bit, but I know kind of the type of place I'm looking for. I'm still yet to kind of cross my T's and dot my I's on that one, though.
And with this changing hockey landscape that, there's positives, there's negatives that come with it. I don't often get to talk to, someone that's maybe felt the difficult side of the change. Like you mentioned, supposed to go to Air Force, but now other doors and opportunities are going to open up for you. Just how difficult kind of was that? And are you looking at it in a positive, because these other schools are really going to want me, and, that's where I'm going to go then.
Yeah, no, I think for me, obviously it stung, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I this, like I had my brother is going to be a senior at the Air Force Academy, and I'm very close with all my siblings. He's one of my best friends, and I was really looking forward to playing with him. But my family's just so supportive of me. Like they want me to succeed. They've been with me every step of the way, whether it's in school, whether it's athletically, whether it's just checking in on me and my well-being. So obviously, like, heartbroken a bit at the start, but the world keeps spinning. The sun's gonna rise the next day, so kind of had to shake that off quick. And at the end of the day, I believe everything happens for a reason. So when one door closes, another one's gonna open up.
Yeah, 100%. We're going into game 58 of a 59 game regular season and heading into the playoffs in a week and a half time. How is the body feeling? I mean, you're obviously someone that keeps yourself in good shape, but it's a grind.
Oh, definitely. Body's sore, but we do a great job. Like, there are so many guys here that have so many recovery tools and things like that, and our coaches are great at. I don't even want to call it load management, but they really listen to us and kind of know what we need to do. And Brian's been doing this for 10 years. He knows what it's like, or at least has a good understanding of it. So I think whether we're nicked up during the week, I think we're just going to be looking to try to get our bodies the best we can for Friday and Saturday. But definitely feeling it. Definitely.
And I'm sure once you heard clinched into the playoffs, you probably could have went through 40 more games just having that weight off your shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Two more in the regular season. It's the Maine Nordiques, and I mean, I believe that is the place where you scored your first career North American Hockey League goal. But through the 4 times or maybe 5 times we've played them so far this season, what's the takeaway knowing that you need to beat them both in regulation if you want to jump them in the standings?
Yeah, I think something that Maine emphasizes on, I think their bread and butter is their speed and their offensive firepower. Like they're a very, very offensively minded team. Their defensemen can all skate. They've got a really good backbone there in Lucas Furston in between the pipes. He's one of the best goalies in the league. But I think, looking at them, they're a fast team and we're a fast team. I think a lot of our systems are remotely similar. So I think it's gonna be a barn burner for sure. But I think we've been preparing all week, and like you said, we've seen them a couple midweek games where we're maybe not catching them on their best night, or they're not catching us. And I think they understand the importance of these 4 points just as much as we do. I think it's going to be a great weekend.
All right. I don't know if I'm going to get an answer out of this last question, but do you have a preference? Obviously, you want to be at home for the playoffs. Do you have a little slight preference on who you'd like to play in the play-in round?
No, honestly, I think if the weekend goes as we want it to be, as we want it to go, I think we're just looking to carry some positive momentum into the following weekend. And I think, again, that's just a testament to our culture. Like we're so focused on ourselves and we're so focused on playing our best hockey that, I think not that it doesn't matter who we're playing against, because obviously game plans are going to change and whatnot. But, I think we're just really excited to play those playoff games.
Andrew, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. I know I don't have to tell you, but on that Saturday game, just soak it in as much as you can, because you've had a great junior career, and I know where you go next year, it'll be exceptional as well. So appreciate the time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
All right, big thanks for Andrew Gibbons for joining us, one of the 11 graduating players on the Northeast Generals roster. Awesome interview. 29 points in 44 games for Gibbons this season. And speaking of graduating players, as we wrap up the show for another week, 2 more games remain for the Northeast Generals. They're both against the Maine Nordiques. We already know what rides on them. Generals need to win both games in regulation if they want to try and get above Maine. And then, of course, if they do that, also very possible that they would be above New Jersey at that point too, and in third place in the East Division. But the final weekend is going to feature on the Saturday night game, 7 p.m. puck drop, a bit of a pregame ceremony honoring all of the 11 graduating players on the Northeast Generals and their exceptional junior hockey careers. There'll be a lot of family members out as well that will take part in the pregame ceremony. So if you can make it down, Saturday night is going to be the salute to the graduating players on the Northeast Generals. Before we wrap it up, though, let's take a look at the Generals, the top scorers on the team. There's 2 games remaining, so it is looking like Cody Moyer, Logan Poulin, Braden Hudloff a little bit back, but maybe still have a chance if they get extremely hot, like Logan Poulin is right now, over the last 2 games. But Cody Moyer with a 5-point clearance. Looks like he probably will lead the team in points at the end of the season. We already mentioned Logan Poulin's going to lead the team in goals, and he's 2 points up on Braden Hudloff, but potentially will lead the team in goals and then lead the team in rookie scoring as well. And Vinny Ipri there will most likely lead the team in defensive scoring with 38 points for the 2006 birth year. But yeah, 11 graduating players for the Northeast Generals, and they will all be acknowledged prior to Saturday's puck drop. But of course, Generals clinch. That's the big storyline of this week's episode. They're in the playoffs. They do not know who it's going to be or where it's going to be yet, but in 3 days, we will find out. Friday against Maine, Saturday against Maine, and then it's playoff hockey time, and the Northeast Generals will be in it. For everyone watching, thank you for watching. We'll see you down at the Canton Ice House, or we'll talk to you next week right here on The Debrief.